Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what we're doing today?
Well, we are a little bit late getting this out, and I apologize, but today is Sunday, but we're...
No. We're recording it Saturday night.
It's really early on a Sunday morning, actually.
Okay, just because it's after midnight doesn't make it not Saturday night.
I mean, technically, it does.
No, it's Saturday. Because we're doing Q&A Saturday, and I say it's Saturday night.
All right, so we're doing Q&A today. What are we Q&Aing?
We are going over Ezekiel. I almost said Jeremiah. Ezekiel chapters 20 through 25. 21 through 25.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes, because, I was looking at a thing and that threw me off because it had different numbers than what my brain was.
Okay.
So
all right.
My eyes and my brain were doing two different
Ezekiel
things.
chapters 21 through 25.
That is correct.
And are you ready to go ahead and get into this? Or do you want to tell us a little bit about what we're doing? Or
horse jizz.
All right. Let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, we are doing our Q&A over Ezekiel chapters 21 through 25.
All right.
And yes, we are going to discuss horse jizz, or at least horse dick.
Oh, okay.
But before we do that,
before the horse dick and horse jizz.
Yeah. Let us step back a minute, because that's not till chapter 24, I think.
Okay.
So we had a vague question in chapter 29.
Well, no.
I'm sorry, 1.
No. Yep.
I'm so sorry. My brain and my mouth are not connected today. Okay. So chapter 21, remember, was called the Sword Song, or the Prophecy of the Sword.
Song of the Sword, I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the sword of the Lord.
Right. Yeah.
So there was a part, I'm going to read verses 9 and 10. Because we kind of had a question about it.
Sure.
Son of man.
You mere human.
You fucking worm.
Right.
Prophecy and say, this is what the Lord says. A sword, sharpened and polished. Sharpened for the slaughter, polished to flash like lightning. Shall we rejoice in the scepter of my royal son? The sword despises every such stick.
Okay.
And we kind of had a question, like, what does he mean, royal son, and like scepter and stick? And we kind of figured, oh, he's probably talking about the puppet king or whatever.
Right.
But we weren't for sure, and we just kind of glossed over it.
Yeah, right.
We were like, whatever.
Sure.
So, yeah, the son here probably does refer to the current ruler of Judah, at that point was Zedekiah.
Okay.
But it also might have referred to the nation itself.
Got
because
it.
His royal city or whatever is about to go down.
Unless he doesn't like them, then it's a whore.
Yeah, so. It's a royal whore. God's sword of judgment had no regard for Zedekiah's right to reign, which was Zedekiah's scepter.
Okay, sure.
So,
I like how they say God, but actually, Ezekiel wrote this hypothetically.
Yeah.
And, we have no corroboration as to whether God was actually involved or not, other than, Ezekiel's word.
You got to take Ezekiel's word for it because.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I said that because
it's the one that got stapled into the book. That's why.
Yes.
So I thought this was kind of interesting. Somebody had written, despising the king of Judah, the sword of Babylon would turn Judah's scepter into nothing but a stick.
Okay.
So
the sword of Babylon, though, which I know is God using Babylon as his sword.
Babylon's sword is going to turn Judah's scepter.
But that motherfucker back in Genesis, he just conjured up some goddamn swords to swing back and forth in front of the Garden of Eden. Mm-hmm. And now he has to use some other fucking people that aren't even his own to bring a sword against his people. I just feel like this is a weak-ass God. If he is a god, he's fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, definitely lost some power over the years.
Right? Yeah.
Just magicked out.
I'm not impressed,
No, me neither.
Okay.
Me neither.
Yeah.
So then moving on in the same chapter to verse 26, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Take off the turban, remove the crown.
Okay.
And we didn't really ask anything about that, but we were just kind of like, okay, whatever. The turban, or as it's sometimes also called a mitre, M-I-T-E-R, was the headdress of the high priest. The crown, of course, belonged to the king, and priesthood and royalty were usually very closely related in Israel.
Yeah.
And so now they would both be set aside, and all the emblems of royalty and leadership would be removed from Zedekiah.
Okay.
Which, that makes sense.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. I just like kind of clearing it up.
Sure. Sure. But the point that I would make there is that would track whether we were talking about a god or any invading force, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the invading force is going to take out the leadership before it takes out the common people. There is no use in taking out the common people unless you're using them for slaves or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just getting them out of the way because you can't support them. And you're the, you know what I mean? Like there's the king and the priests and the higher up leaders. Those are the ones that you have to worry about causing problems for you, so to speak.
Right.
So obviously, anytime anybody is destroying another nation, they're going to be one of the first to go because that's just how it works.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so that finishes up chapter 21.
Sure.
We didn't have any questions and I didn't have any notes for chapter 22.
Okay.
And I was mistaken. It wasn't chapter 24 that had the horse jizz in it. It's chapter 23. But that's a bit of a longer one because I have two really good notes for that I'm just going to put aside for a minute. So we're going to skip chapter 23.
And come back to it?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do like awesome one and then be like, oh yeah.
You got to leave the cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
You got to leave the horse jizz for last, obviously.
Yeah. So let's put a pin in that and move on to chapter 24.
Or maybe a condom on it.
Let's put a condom on that and move on to chapter 24.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to read verses 26 and 27.
Okay.
On that day, a fugitive will come to tell you the news.
Wait. 26 and 27 from what?
Verses, chapter 24. I literally said...
I'm sorry, I apologize, I missed that.
I said it twice, dude.
Well, I was caught up in horse jizz,
I know you were caught up in horse jizz. Okay, so chapter 24, verses 26 and 27.
Okay.
On that day, a fugitive will come to tell you the news. At that time, your mouth will be opened. You will speak with him and will no longer be silent. And we were like, who the fuck? What do you mean?
Yeah, that was weird because it was right at the end of the chapter, right? And it ended off that way. And we're like, what is going on there?
Who day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so When someone escapes from Jerusalem and then arrives among the captives, that person will inform them of the destruction of the city, the temple, the royal family, and all the people at large.
Okay.
Okay. And that's when they will know for sure, like, oh, fuck me. Ezekiel was telling us the truth. What?
Okay.
And right. So until that moment,
yeah,
Ezekiel must suppress his tears and lamentations for his wife having died.
Okay.
Because then they're asking him what's up. And he's like, because whereas I love and miss my wife, y'all are going to be feeling it so much worse. And y'all are going to be feeling it so bad that ain't none of us going to be crying because we're all going to be trying to figure out how the fuck we're going to deal with this. And they're like, whatever, dude. And he's like, no, I'm telling you, Jerusalem is going down. And they're like, that's not what I heard.
And again, I know we talked about this a lot during Jeremiah because we thought he was a double agent, right?
Yeah.
But even with Ezekiel, right, the priests of Israel or Judah were higher up people. And if Babylon was capturing them, they might have had a higher place even amongst the captives, right? With regard to how they related to higher up people.
Clearly they did, because Ezekiel had his own house and the prisoner elders came to visit him. So even if he wasn't collaborating with Babylon, he might have had insider information. True.
He might have known they were going to go fuck up, Judah that day or whatever.
Exactly.
So I don't know that this is a big shock that he was aware that this was going to happen.
No, I don't. It's always politics.
And again, there's no way to know any of this, and we just have to take them at these people who we know nothing about from thousands of years ago.
Right.
We have to take their quote unquote word, and even at that's been translated so many different times through so many different languages that we can't possibly have any inkling as to what they actually meant.
Right.
We have to take that as fact if we want to believe in God.
Yeah.
And I that's crazy. It's crazy.
That's silly.
Yeah.
It's foolish.
Agreed.
So he's saying that somebody is going to escape from Jerusalem and come up and tell them.
Right.
And that until then, he has to be quiet and he can't mourn his wife or nothing.
I guess that makes a little bit more sense. Sort of.
Well, there's a little bit more. I wasn't quite finished.
He murdered his wife?
I mean, that's my theory, but no, that's not what I was getting into.
Right.
We're going to learn in a future chapter.
Yeah.
Probably not. No, it won't be this coming week. It might be the week after. My math is really bad.
Sure. Okay.
So in like a couple weeks, we're going to learn in one of those chapters that a person actually does escape from Jerusalem and then informs the prophet and his fellow captives that the city was smashed.
Okay.
So that's a thing that will happen.
Ezekiel wrote about a prophecy that was going to happen, and then the prophecy happened, and so yay, he's right in his own book.
Now you know the Lord.
He wrote his own prophecy that he wrote that his prophecy that he predicted was correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, at least somebody addressed our question. Like, what do you mean? Who the fuck? I don't understand. Somebody's going to come. What?
Yeah.
So now we know.
Sure.
Okay. So, okay, that's it for chapter 24. Now we're moving on to chapter 25.
Okay.
And I'm going to read verses 8 and 9.
Sure.
Okay. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Because Moab and Seir said, look, Judah has become like all the other nations. Therefore, I will expose the flank of Moab, beginning at its frontier towns, Beth Jeshimoth, Baal-Meon, and Kiriathaim, the glory of that land. Okay. So I just put together a little reminder of how the Moabites are kind of related as cousins.
Right.
Okay. The ancestor of Moab came from the incestuous pairing of Lot and his daughter.
Okay.
Remember when she did a hop on pop?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then the Moabites feared Israel as they came from Egypt towards Canaan in the book of Numbers. And Balak, king of Moab, hired Balaam to curse Israel.
Yeah, I remember that.
That happened.
And that was one of my favorite early on chapters.
That's another donkey.
That's another donkey.
Right? That one spoke.
That one talked, didn't come.
Yeah. We weren't talking about his dick end. We were talking about his fucking mouth moving.
Right.
when Israel came into Canaan, sometimes Moab attacked and ruled over them even. And that was in the book of Judges.
Okay. Yep.
And then later, Ruth the Moabite was the great-grandmother of King David.
Yep.
And David sent his parents to Moab for their own protection when Saul was hunting him in 1 Samuel.
I feel like one might even, like, in those days, if you were Egypt or Babylon, might even confuse them all as Israelites.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they seem very, very closely related.
Very incestuously closely related.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're just like different states, right? Like this one operates a little differently over here than that one does. And obviously Israel was also worshiping idols, and sacrificing children. So there wasn't a lot of like cultural differences between them.
They were like all frenemies.
Right.
They like, I hate you so much. Stop touching me.
But it's only
stop breathing on me. And then they're like, oh fuck, but we should really gang up together because Egypt is coming. Right.
But the only reason that was the case is because the Moabites probably had a different king than Judah did or Israel did or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it had to do, again, with politics, not so much culture.
Exactly. So when he was king, David fought against and defeated Moab in 2 Samuel. And they became a vassal kingdom to Israel, sometimes rebelling in 2 Kings.
Yeah, I remember. There was a lot of I remember
it was back and forth.
Yep.
But I kind of needed that reminder of how they were related.
Sure.
And then, like, why is God going off on this group? Like, I don't give a fuck about these people. Who are they again now?
I mean, does God really need a reason? God just goes off on people. He's, there you go, God, go off. That's his thing.
Right. It's true. So the other one that we mentioned, Moab and Seir. Okay?
Yeah.
Seir was a notable city of the Edomites, who were also cousins to Israel, being the descendants of Jacob's twin brother Esau.
Right. Okay.
So that's how they're related.
And Esau was the one that wrestled God in the desert, I believe.
Either God or the angel of the Lord.
Right, but wrestled something in the desert.
Yeah.
That some people think is God.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which obviously isn't true, but in the Bible, whatever,
Yeah. And there are giants, Sure. All right. So now we're going to go back to chapter 23.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've got a few different things. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to start with verse 4 of chapter 23. The older sister was named Ahola, and her sister was Aholaba.
Okay.
They were mine, God's, and gave birth to sons and daughters. Ahola is Samaria, and Aholaba is Jerusalem.
Okay.
So Ahola, okay, now I'm done reading. Okay, now I'm into my notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Ahola, Samaria, means her own tabernacle, meaning that she rejected that city, that sister, rejected God's temple and the service that attended it.
Okay.
Like that word literally translates to her own tabernacle.
Got it.
Which that's what Samaria did. They were like, no, like God's tabernacle was not in Samaria.
Right. I got it.
So that's what they're saying. She had her own.
They decided they could do it without the tabernacle, essentially.
Exactly.
Even though the tabernacle stopped being mentioned at some point way long ago.
Exactly. I don't know if you recall too, though, in Samaria, I forget which king it was that was like, oh my God, I totally love that guy's altar. I'm totally going to build one of my own at home.
What was this? It was
in one of the Kings or Chronicles or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the kings decided that. Yeah. I remember that.
Say it was like.
I thought it was Solomon, actually, maybe.
It wasn't Solomon. It was like Boaz or I don't know who. Whatever. Who cares? It doesn't really matter. I know it wasn't Solomon, and I know this because I almost put this in my notes and didn't.
Is it Jehovah who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
So that's Samaria.
Okay. Yeah.
Ahola means her own tabernacle.
Got it.
Okay. Aholaba, Jerusalem, means my tabernacle is in her.
Okay.
And that's because she was home to God's temple and its service.
Sure.
So that's why those sisters had those
very
names.
straightforward names.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, the tabernacle was not still there that I'm aware of.
Like what happened was Samaria was called Nose Goes.
Right.
And then Jerusalem was called Choose Somebody Else, please. All right. So now we're going to read verse 14, 15, and 16.
Okay.
Which I said verse, but I meant verses.
Yeah.
because plural.
Right.
Okay. But she carried her prostitution still further. She saw men portrayed on a wall. Figures, and we had a question about that.
Yeah.
Figures of Chaldeans portrayed in red with belts around their waists and flowing turbans on their heads. All of them looked like Babylonian chariot officers, natives of Chaldea.
Okay.
As soon as she saw them, she lusted after them and sent messengers to them in Chaldea.
Okay.
And we were like, the fuck?
Yeah.
So that was basically like their town poster board, like Facebook of the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, bas reliefs, like statues, carvings in walls and stuff,
Yeah.
were common decorations in Mesopotamian palaces and temples. And so that's how they like told stories and passed legends on. And so they saw these things and were like, I want that city. I want those gods.
Got it.
That is what I want.
So like some traveler might have come through and like dropped this whatever.
Yeah.
Travel pamphlet. Travel tablet.
Yeah. It was a door-to-door. It was a Jehovah's Witness.
Come visit Chaldea.
Yeah.
It's great this time of year.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll love the horses and the men on them.
God.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. So that took me to something else, though. There's this thing called the Black Obelisk of Shalmaneser III.
Wow.
Okay,
I
I know.
like that. That's a fancy ass name for
A
something.
statue
Yeah, that's
thing.
great.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, it's a black limestone Neo-Assyrian sculpture with many carved scenes and inscriptions in relief.
Have you ever been around a lot of sandstone? Have you ever seen sandstone like up close, like when you're like out in the wild?
No.
It's really cool rock.
Okay.
It's really. I used to love rocks, so I just thought
this isn't sandstone. This is limestone.
Yeah, it's similar.
Is it?
Similar-ish.
Okay.
So I think I could be wrong, but I think they're similar.
I have no idea.
It's like sediment stone is what it boils down to. So
Well, this one is a giant, like, cylinder-shaped thing, and it's got carvings all around it.
okay.
Okay?
All right.
And it's historically significant because it is thought to display the earliest ancient depiction of a biblical figure. Jehu, at the time the king of Israel, prostrating himself before the Assyrian king and offering gifts.
Okay.
The date pictured would be about 840 BCE at the beginning of Jehu's reign.
So this is an actual historical
Yes.
thing that exists.
I did not get this off. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I was doing my notes. You know how I examine many sources from many different perspectives. I was on an apologist site and they mentioned this and I was like, hold up, what?
Right.
And so then I was like, is this really a thing or is this them talking about a thing?
Right.
So then that's how I rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
Is I verify things, right?
Yeah, right.
And no, I got this from an actual source.
Sure.
It is currently in a museum.
Okay.
Let me finish my notes.
Sorry.
It's a real
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Okay. So anyway, the picture on the thing is from the beginning of Jehu's reign, about 840 BCE. And the object comes from Nimrud, which is located in northern Iraq,
Okay.
and commemorates the deeds of King Shalmaneser III, which is why it's called that,
Right.
who reigned about 858 to 824 BCE.
Okay.
And it is on display currently at the British Museum in London, and several other museums have cast replicas of it.
It really sounds like we're going to have to make a trip over to Europe at some point.
Right?
Just to see some of this, like the biblical, historical items that do exist.
Right.
It would be really cool to look. I don't believe in God,
it.
but I love history.
Yeah.
And like this aspect of it where you actually have remnants of that time that are still in existence.
Right.
Is really cool. Like you're talking about thousands of years ago.
Right.
Right.
That's why I had to include that.
Yeah. That's pretty fucking amazing.
So we've got basically proof that these two guys at least existed.
Right.
And B, not only did they exist, but this particular part of that story is correct, that this guy did go over and prostrate himself to an Assyrian king.
Now, I do want to say with regard to that, and then us talking about the historicity of these items, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's that a lot of theists, Christians that I've come across, will point to the fact that some of the things in the Bible did actually happen historically, and they have been proven to happen historically. So therefore, right, the Bible is true, obviously, right?
But that's so foolish, because I could go on Facebook or any number of websites and say, oh, well, I found something that said that the moon is made out of cheese.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that the moon is made out of cheese, y'all.
No, you and I know that just the mere fact of an artifact existing with regard to something that happened in the Bible does not make the Bible true.
Right.
It's merely an artifact that represents something from that time frame and lends to the fact that there are aspects of the Bible that might have some truth to them.
And,
right?
And legends do grow up around people. I mean, think about, like, who was it? Washington and the fucking apple tree or something?
Cherry tree,
that's what he said.
Yeah.
And he's like, I cannot tell a lie or whatever.
Right.
And then there's, like, Lincoln and the wooden teeth or something like that.
The wooden teeth was George Washington.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
I'm trying to remember which one is which. I think Washington was the cherry tree, but there is something associated with Lincoln too, and I can't remember now what it is. Only thing I can think of as I'm sitting here is he's got a really tall fucking hat.
And he's tall, supposedly, for the times.
He was our Civil War president, and
he got shot in a theater.
He got the 14th Amendment through, and he got shot in a theater. The guy that killed him was named Ford, but I can't think of what the thing is that I'm thinking of.
His party was called the Republicans at the time, so now the Republicans are like,
they claim
we set the slaves free, and I'm like, wait.
But you know what? They try to claim Martin Luther King Jr. too.
Oh my gosh! I seethe every time. I'm like, get his name out your mouth. Like, what the fuck? Fucking liars.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're coming up on the horses. All right. So let's hit verse 20.
Okay.
There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys.
Yeah, they were.
And whose emission was like that of horses.
Wow. Yeah, good stuff.
Okay. So I was like, the fuck is happening here?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, on the apologists.
I can't wait. Can you imagine your job is being an apologist, and then you're like, oh, fuck. Ezekiel chapter 23. What the...
Okay.
God damn it.
I did not record any of it because it's whatever.
Yeah,
it had nothing good to say except for, yes, this was very coarse language. It was meant to be shocking.
Oh, of course,
and we're not supposed to use this type of language in our general discourse or even as a sermon. It was meant to be shocking at the time. And I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, they were like, I don't know, whatever.
Right.
They were just like appalled, and they were like, you should never.
Yeah.
And, we don't talk about that and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I was like, and that's your fucking problem. Not that I want to talk about horse jizz. Well, I don't. But it's in your book.
Yeah, and the biggest problem really is that most, churches that you go to, I shouldn't say most, there are a lot of churches that people go to that if you start asking questions, they're going to think less of you.
Right.
It's not a good thing in Christianity in general to ask a lot of questions, right?
Yeah.
Like you get shunned, you get looked down upon, you might even get cast out at some level.
Even though, you could believe in all your heart and you're like, but I want to understand. I'm trying to get closer to God. You guys keep telling me this is his word. And you could be in all earnestness.
Yeah.
And you could actually feel whatever it is that fucking believers feel. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never felt it, but people do, I guess. Whatever.
Well, I mean, I think we've talked about that before too, but in a group of people who are all very fervently believing in this one thing, this God, this idea, and they act as though it's real all together, right? It creates this confirming circle of
circle jerk,
uplifting, bullshit, right? And they're all like, yeah, it all exists, and the reason it all exists is because the next person next to them says it all exists, and that person's reason is because the person next to them says it all exists,
right?
And, so on and so forth. Yeah, it's just a ever confirming circle of BS.
I call it a circle jerk of belief.
Yeah, I like that. Sorry, I should have stopped, but I was in the middle of a rant. I couldn't stop. I was going forward with it.
So I was like, okay, get the fuck out of here with all that.
Yeah.
And then they said something that like made me stop because they were like, blah, 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 symbolism. And I was like, oh, hang on. Okay, hold on. So the horse has been associated with numerous roles and magical gifts throughout the ages and in all regions of the world wherever horses have been. Sure. Making it the most symbolically charged animal along with the snake. Okay. Horses and snakes. Sure. Okay. Yeah. And, you know, when you start talking about like what's so symbolic about horses, then you get into like mares, nightmares, dreams. Yeah. You get into like the Greek and Roman stuff like fucking Pegasus and unicorn and, you know, all that stuff, right?
I mean, how could it not have been one of the biggest symbols in our history? Because it's a fucking giant beast with hair. Yeah. That's gorgeous. Like, by all rights, they're a beautiful animal, you know? Mm-hmm. Some people don't. I think you think they look like a fucking alien. So,
they do because they have triangle-shaped heads, just like praying mantises. But I recognize that they are majestic and do have a certain beauty to them.
And overall, most people, I would say on average, would tend to say they're a beautiful, majestic creature as opposed to an alien. So
yes, I agree. I'm just saying. I agree. I just think because they give you side eye, they're a little too smart for, like, I don't trust them. That's all. And also, I've known two separate people who were missing part of a finger because they got their hand close the wrong way and it accidentally chopped
They can't help it that their fucking mouth is like a bear trap.
I know, but I can't help that two different people in my life had their fucking finger munched off. Yeah. Okay? So, anyway, the horse serves as a loyal ally to the hero in epic tales or as a tireless companion in cowboy adventures. Sure. And has become a symbol of war and political domination throughout history. Like, think of a lot of our statues have the guy on the horse. Yep. You know, like, I think if they died in battle, like, the horse is rearing. And if they didn't die in battle, they just are heroes.
I actually didn't know that. Like, is that actually a thing?
I believe it is a thing. Don't quote me on it. I wasn't prepared to talk about that. Sure, but I'm
something you had heard before at some point.
Yeah, it's something I had heard before, and I can't remember which way it goes. But I think if the statue has the horse rearing up on its back legs, that the person being depicted died in battle. Okay. Otherwise, it's just a hero. And obviously, you know, if time passed, they died, but it wasn't because of the battle.
Right, right.
So they're just a hero.
Got it.
So, political domination throughout history, blah, blah, blah. And they are a symbol of evil through its association with nightmares and demons. And think of like satyrs. Like now we talk about satyrs being half goat, but at one time it was half horse. And that gets into centaurs, blah, blah, blah. They're a symbol of eroticism through the ambiguity of writing. Okay. All right. Now, the horse is a phallic animal, the image of which stems from the proximity between the rider, who sits with the animal between his or her legs and moves with cadenced movements. So it's the proximity between the rider and the act of sex, during which we experience all the exhilaration, sweat, and sensations of a horse ride. Right. And there are some girls who claim that they have reached orgasm merely by riding a horse because it hit the right spot. Got it. There are others who claim they lost their cherry because they bounced too much, and I'm like, that's not how that works, bro, but whatever. Sure.
There is the popular saying, you know, it's hung like a horse, so.
And because... They have big dicks.
Right, yeah.
I mean, not big compared to horses. Like their dicks are exactly the size they should be for an animal to have that is that size.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, comparatively speaking.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, huge. So in Egyptian hieroglyphics, the horse represents a lustful person. Asses and horses are proverbially lustful. Okay. And it should be noted that as coarse as these verses read, the original is even more rough than the translation.
Wow.
So it's like, you thought that was bad.
Just wait till you learn the other languages and read it in the whatever, native tongue.
Exactly.
Wow.
Learn you some fucking Hebrew or whatever. And, yee.
That's almost makes me want to learn the, whatever.
Like, I gotta know, like, what do you mean?
Please,
like,
let me just learn the words in this specific.
Not even chapter, just this
verse.
Just these verses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got to see what this is all about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
what you got?
That's my take on the horse and donkeys and jizz and dicks.
Yeah.
And the girls were
This
whores.
was kind of an exciting week of Ezekiel.
It really was.
Because we had Pulp Fiction, we had horse jizz, we had there was a lot of things that wasn't it, but I mean, like, there was a lot of things that it felt
we had prostitutes.
Yeah. It just felt like we did something this week,
Mm-hmm.
So we reiterated a lot of the same shit over and over and over again.
But we did get to be a little bit different.
We got to mix it up a little this week.
We talked a lot of sex this week.
We did.
You would think that we were gross, but guys.
I mean,
we're just reading the fucking Bible.
Ain't our fault.
I'm just
right
telling
there.
you what's in the Bible and what it means to the best of my abilities.
I can't help it that God's a pervert,
He's a murdery perv. He is gross.
He really is.
Donkey dicks in the fucking Bible. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
The holy book, the good word. Emissions. Semen, cum, jizz.
The glory holy book.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
All right. We got anything else for today?
No.
All right. Well, that was our Q&A for this Saturday/Sunday. Whatever the fuck it is. And we will be back later today, later on Sunday, whenever you're getting this. So later on Sunday with we think a Patreon.
No.
Excuse me.
It's Patreon.
Oh, I am so sorry. I stepped on your thing.
Did.
Yeah,
My
I'm
jingle.
so sorry.
And I have been informed that there are some people who actually look forward to it.
Yeah, there's not just one person, but there are multiple people that have told us that whenever they hear or read the word Patreon, your voice comes into their brain and it will not leave, and it is seated there forever. And they're kind of mad, but they love you also.
I mean,
so
that's how I feel about like my entire life. That pretty much sums me up.
All right, guys, that was our Q&A for today. We'll be back later with
Patreon.
more. That's the one. And I'll have the weekly wrap up out after that. And then we'll be back on Monday with
Ezekiel chapter 26.
That is correct. We'll see you guys then.
I can math. Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.